Imagine a world covered in endless shifting sands, a world where a single drop of water is more precious than gold. Does this place feel like a distant science fiction fantasy, or does it echo a warning we are only now beginning to hear? This is Arrakis, Frank Herbert's desert planet. But this sun-scorched landscape is far more than a backdrop for power and destiny. It's a profound teacher, a living character with ancient rules and unforgiving truths. The desert holds up a mirror to our world, reflecting the consequences of our pride and the delicate balance we ignore. The desert in Dune feels alive because it is alive. Not an empty void to conquer, but a complex, interconnected system. It has its own rhythms, its cycles of life and death, a language in the whisper of the wind, and the movements of colossal sandworms beneath the surface. The people who survive here, the Fremen, understand this implicitly. They don't fight the desert, they move with it. They listen to subtle cues, they respect its immense power, and they treat water as sacred, the essence of community and survival. Herbert wasn't just writing a novel, he crafted a parable, an ecological cautionary tale ahead of its time. He used Arrakis to show ecology's principles in clear form. The story details the link between tiny sand plankton and giant sandworms, the scarcity of water, and a culture built around conservation. It shows that every element in an ecosystem is connected. A small change sends ripples through the whole web of life. Once fiction, this vision now feels familiar. The lessons of Arrakis are lessons we're learning in the 21st century. The desert teaches the finite nature of resources, the importance of balance, and the dangers of unchecked exploitation. Herbert's world foresaw our present. It showed a path of destruction born from arrogance, but also illuminated another way: harmony, respect, wisdom. At the heart of Dune's ecological message is a simple, powerful idea. Everything is connected. Frank Herbert built his world around that principle, a delicate, intricate web of life. The desert of Arrakis functions as a single, complex organism. The giant sandworms, the fearsome Shai-Hulud, not merely monsters. They are a keystone species. Their life cycle creates the priceless spice, melange. Without the worms, the spice does not exist. The ecosystem and the galactic economy built on spice would collapse. The dependency goes further than the worms. Smaller organisms, the sand plankton, they form the base of the food chain, sustaining the sandworms. Tiny life forms, unseen, keeping the planet alive. This shows a core ecology truth. The biggest parts depend on the smallest. The Fremen understand this deep connection. Their culture, language, and rituals are shaped by their environment. Water is the most critical thread in this web. On a planet where it never rains, every molecule is sacred. Still suits that recycle the body's moisture, underground catch basins that store water for generations. For the Freeman, water is life and community. When someone dies, the tribe reclaims their body's water. In a closed system, nothing is truly lost. It only changes form. Before we continue, join our community of thinkers. We post one deep dive video like this and 2 shorter insights every week. This month we're running our Dune movie series, Chasing Sunsets, exploring philosophical and real-world parallels. If you're finding this valuable, please take a moment to subscribe. It helps us create content that makes you think. Now, back to the lessons of the Fremen. Dune presents a stark contrast between 2 opposing approaches to nature, one of harmony and one of hubris. The latter is embodied by the planet's off-world rulers, particularly the House Harkonnen. They see Arrakis not as a home, but as a factory, a source of spice to be extracted with maximum efficiency and minimum regard for the consequences. Their approach is one of brute force and technological domination. They believe that their advanced machinery and political power give them the right to control and exploit the desert, bending it to their will, without understanding its systems or limits. This arrogance, this excessive pride, is a direct cause of instability and conflict. The Harkonnens' aggressive spice harvesting disrupts the desert's delicate balance, angering sandworms and creating a hostile relationship with the planet. They treat the Freeman with contempt, viewing them as primitive obstacles rather than holders of invaluable knowledge. This hubris ultimately proves to be their downfall. By refusing to respect ecosystem limits and local wisdom, they sow the seeds of their own destruction. Their quest for total control only leads to them losing it entirely. Does this sound familiar? This pattern of hubris plays out across our planet today. For centuries, we've approached nature with a mindset of conquest. We have viewed forests as lumber, rivers as conduits for waste, the land as a commodity to be bought and sold. Our technological progress has brought many benefits, but also a dangerous belief we can engineer our way out of problems we create. We have dammed rivers, drained wetlands, flattened mountains, often ignoring long-term ecological damage. This mindset has led us to the current environmental crisis: climate change, mass extinction, plastic-choked oceans, widespread pollution. These are not random accidents. They are predictable outcomes of assuming infinite growth on a finite planet. Like the Harkonnens, we have valued short-term profit over long-term stability. We have ignored warnings from scientists, the wisdom of indigenous communities, and the clear signs of distress from the planet itself. The heat waves, superstorms, droughts we now experience are the planet's response, the sandworm's fury to our relentless exploitation. In stark opposition to the destructive hubris of the Harkonnens, Dune offers a vision of hope through the culture of the Freeman. Theirs is a path of harmony, living with the desert, not conquering it. This harmony is active, intelligent, and deeply spiritual. The Freemen have survived for thousands of years because they practice what we now call systems thinking. They see the desert as a unified whole, the wind, the sand, the worms, the people, all part of the same living tapestry. This worldview is woven into every aspect of their society. Their goal isn't short-term extraction, but survival and prosperity for generations. This requires immense patience and long-term planning. The Freemen dream of terraforming Arrakis, bringing open water, green plants. But it's not a quick technological fix. It's a slow, methodical, centuries-long project. It relies on carefully planting grasses to stabilize dunes, collecting water drop by drop, slowly, gently shifting the planet's ecological balance. They work with nature's processes, not against them. Their wisdom lies in reverence for limits. They know water is finite and must be guarded. They know the rhythms of the sandworms and how to move without attracting attention. This respect for boundaries is a form of freedom. By honoring the rules of their environment, they thrive where outsiders perish. A counter-narrative to modern culture that equates freedom with no limits. The Freemen show that true freedom comes from understanding the system you are part of and finding your place within it, knowing not only what you can do, but what you should do for the good of the whole. So, here we stand, on the precipice of our own Arrakis. We are faced with the same fundamental choice. Frank Herbert laid out a choice between hubris and harmony. Do we continue down the path of the Harkonnens, doubling down on exploitation, believing some yet-to-be-invented technology will save us at the last minute? Or do we choose the path of the Freeman, a path of humility, patience, and a deep, abiding respect for the intricate web of life that sustains us all? The desert, both fictional and real, teaches us that the consequences of this choice are absolute. Choosing harmony does not mean abandoning progress or technology. The Fremen are not Luddites. Their still suits, for example, are marvels of personal engineering. The lesson is not to reject our tools, but to use them with wisdom and foresight. It means asking different questions. Instead of asking, how can we extract more resources? We must ask, how can we live well within our planet's means? Instead of focusing only on quarterly profits, we must learn to think in terms of generations, planning for the well-being of our descendants and the health of the world they will inherit. It is about aligning our human systems with the planet's natural systems. The lessons are practical and clear. We must protect and restore our planet's keystone elements: forests, oceans, biodiversity. We must, like the Freemen, become masters of conservation, treating fresh water and clean air as the precious resources they are. This requires a shift in consciousness from seeing ourselves as masters of nature to seeing ourselves as members of it. It requires listening to the scientists who chart the changes, listening to the indigenous communities who hold ancestral knowledge, and listening to the planet itself as it speaks to us in the language of fire, flood, and drought. Dune endures not just because it is a thrilling adventure, but because it is a profound and timeless myth. It is a story that gives us a language and a framework to understand our most pressing crisis. It reminds us that ecology is not just a science. It is a moral and spiritual imperative. The fate of our world does not rest on a prophesied hero, but on the collective choices we make every day. The desert asks for our humility, it tests our wisdom, and it offers a stark choice. We can be the architects of our own ruin, or we can become the caretakers of a thriving world. The future is a landscape we are all creating together, one decision at a time. The choice, ultimately, is ours. Question? Drop your thoughts below. Subscribe for more philosophy insights at Chasing Sunsets 49. Like, comment, and share. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye.